All right, well, guys, welcome in for this training. This is all about how to accelerate EFT, or as the new kids like to say, MRR. Means the same thing. It's your monthly reoccurring revenue, how many people are on memberships, and we want to obviously grow that as gym owners. So I'm going to share with you the system on how you can add 5 to 20K EFT in 8 weeks by following this system. All right. Now, here's the thing. This is going to have some nuance, so feel free to ask questions because some of the guys that are on this call are going to be large group training models. Some will be small groups. Some will be an open access gym. Some do, Pilates. Like basically, there's going to all be different types of gyms. So go ahead and ask questions along the way so I can tailor this training as much to you as possible. All right. But if you guys don't know me, just a quick intro. My name's Dustin Bogle. I went from 1 to 6 gyms in 6 years. And a lot of the systems that I teach to gym owners these days still work like they did for me when I did that 6 gym scaling process. And so I am teaching them one by one to you guys because I want to add value, help you grow your gym, and help you to get more margin and more members, right? Because that's when life is good. More members, I'm making a bigger impact. More margin means I'm taking home more money as a business owner. So we're going to get into this training and just get to the good stuff. As that's why I know you guys are here. So first, I want to ask you to do a little bit of dreaming because we don't do this enough as gym owners and business owners. We just get busy right into work. As soon as you wake up, start knocking out to-do lists, and you don't stop and say, where am I going? What's my goal, right? What's all this work leading up to? So first, I want to have you dream with just a small amount of growth in your business. 5,000 to 20,000 in extra EFT or MRR. Imagine your business, right? Imagine where you are now. Think of that number. What is your EFT or MRR right now? And add five to $20,000 on top of that. What would that do for you, right? That's a very achievable number. You probably know multiple gyms have hit that number. That is what you're thinking about right now. So think about this. How much better would you sleep if that much money was coming into your business? What kind of freedom would that create for you and your family? And how much mental stress would be relieved, right? Because a lot of our stress, to be honest, comes from money. And so that's the big thing that's driving all these things that we're going to talk about is like you got to have a light at the end of the tunnel. You got to have a carrot you're chasing. And if you can foresee in the future, man, I'm going to sleep like a baby and our business is going to be more dialed in and it's going to be more stabilized and I'm going to have less stress in my life because I got from this number to that number. Now, let's not lie. Gym owners tend to move the goalpost. Once they've hit it, now they're going to push it. But like to know that there's a little bit more stability makes you feel good, right? And that's what we're chasing. So just wanted to stop and do that for a moment. Just think about that because we need something to latch on to then want to do the work. Now, what would that do in terms of changing your life? Well, I say with more margin, you're probably going to see these three things. Number one, the owner is going to have more take home, right? If you added 5,000 a month, you probably are at least breaking even or profitable. So that means that's all going straight to you, right? I mean, you're not going to take 100% because you got to pay the taxes on it, but 5,000 a month is a 60,000 a year raise on top of what you're making right now. What would that do for you, right? To increase your income this year by $60,000, right? To add that on. Some people make that in a year. We're talking about adding that to what you make. Wow, that'd be awesome, right? How about mental relief? Would you be more calm, clear, and focused with your EFT being up 5 to 20K more a month? And then a lot of owners choose to do this. That's reinvestment. You could put it into making better marketing materials and improving your ad budget, or maybe hiring someone. You maybe want to get out of the day-to-day ops. Now you're going to hire a coach or a manager. Or what about that website you've been thinking about renovating because it's old and dated, but that costs money? You can do these things when you finally have the margin, right? So like part of it's choosing how much will I keep, but how much will I put into the business? And then of course the third hand that's got its hand out is Uncle Sam, and that's taxes. But that tends to be the three splits, right? And so if you're like, hey, we're good, I'm gonna take more of it home. I don't really want to reinvest right now. Or you're like, I want to reinvest because I want to grow. I want to get the gym to be bigger. I want to renovate the gym. I want to add a location. These are all reasons to reinvest. Okay. So that's what you get to do once you have the money. You get to sit down and have these types of thoughts. And again, I like this picture because this guy doesn't look stressed. He actually looks calm and that he's in deep thought and he's being strategic. And that's what I want for more gym owners. Most gym owners, I feel like, are firefighters. They're running around whatever people need from them that day and the next, they will pull from them all the energy and they don't have any time or space for them to think about their things that they want to focus on, right? They're not being a fire captain, which is like, I'm leading the charge. I'm telling the firefighters where to go versus me being the main firefighter, right? So let's get into it. The actual system. What is it? The actual meat and potatoes. Well, recently, earlier this year, we ran an opt-in program for gym reinforcements clients, which means they had to raise their hand and fill out a form and opt in to be part of this. There was no extra cost. I just told them the truth. I want to group coach you guys to add 5K and MRR for 8 weeks. And we're going to do group calls and I'll lead them. And there will be activity required on your part, meaning you got to fill in your spreadsheet and be engaged. If I see anyone's MIA and they're not being active, I'm just going to remove you from the group. Since it was free, I'm not really losing anything by removing you, but you have to know that. Another interesting thing a lot of the owners gave me feedback on was I required them to write out a reward and a stake. And that means if you hit your MRR goal, you're going to reward yourself by doing X, which we're pretty bad at doing, right? We could just go, go, go. So it's things like a massage, or I'm going to have like a weekend getaway with my wife, or whatever you wanted. It was this pleasurable thing. But then the stake was something negative that you desperately don't want to do, that if you don't hit it, you will have to fulfill on the stake. So maybe it's one person put they have to go run a marathon because they hate running. There was a few funny ones on there, right? But they were all things that like they really didn't want to do. And so you need both because a lot of times we think chasing the carrot is going to move us, but a lot of times we need the stick. We need someone to come and whack us on the head and say, you got to do this negative thing if you don't hit the goal. So that is the stake. And that was one thing I had the group do. And the whole purpose of the group was add 5K in EFT/MRR by the end of the program, if not more. So here's the three phases that they went through. First, we're all focused on the same target. That helps because if everyone's thinking about different things, we're scattered and all the energy isn't put into the same place. So this is definitely one power of this accountability group. Second, we customize it for each business, right? What the small group person needs to do is going to be different than the large group versus the 24/7 access gym. So I did take my time with each rep person in the group and help customize it. But the big thing was there was public accountability. We put everyone's goals on the same spreadsheet. This wasn't like everyone has their own set private spreadsheet. We're all on it looking at it together. And now there's a little bit of public pressure of like, uh-oh, look what they did last week. I need to ramp it up. They did more calls. They did more this. They did more that. Right. And then there's weekly check-in. So we are going to look at it every week on the group calls. We're going to just open that spreadsheet and that's the purpose of the call. How are things going? And going one by one through each person. So you're getting that attention, right? And you're not going to get skipped over or lost in the group. Now, here's what they actually did, because I know that's the burning question. Okay, cool, Dustin, accountability, 5K MRR, got it. But what are they actually doing during this 8 week program? Well, here it is. There's only two main things that they had to do daily. They had to do one marketing activity to generate a lead, and it can't be something they're doing now. So if they're regularly posting on social media, that's not going to count. You have to push yourself. This is a 8 week program to get out of your comfort zone. And we all know what a lead is. It's when you generate name, phone number, and email. That is a lead. So if they're not posting on social media, maybe posting daily is the stretch they need. If they're not sending email blasts, maybe they need to start doing that. I would actually probably put that on the next one, sales, because you're not getting a lead from doing email blasts. But just think about where could I go to get leads? I can post in my local Facebook groups. If I'm not running ads, I can turn on ads and I can look at the metrics on them daily. I can go on my phone and text people that I know there and see if they're looking for a fitness program. But like every day, you're trying to capture a lead, right? And so that is one activity they had to do. The second was you had to do a minimum of 10 reach outs to somebody, making them an offer. Now, this is where the 2 email blasts a week could come in, or you can text your list. Um, you can message your members and ask them for a referral. You can call your old members and say, hey, I miss you, you want to come back? But you got to do 10 of these a day. So if I do one marketing activity and I do 10 reach outs to just any kind of contact, well, you know what's going to happen? A snowball effect. When you snowball this for 8 weeks, imagine how many people you've reached out to. Imagine how many marketing activities you've done that leads to the EFT growth. The problem is we get pulled away from this because we got a million things going on, and there's all the little fires, and the toilet got clogged at the gym, and we need to go look at coach applications, and this client's upset. I got to get on the phone, and before you know it, the whole day went by. You did nothing to grow your business. That's all I'm requiring of you is to just, I'm pulling you back. That's my job, is like pull you back and get you centered and focused on what actually grows a business. And that's marketing and sales, right? So that's the thing, which I know probably is maybe a little underwhelming. You're like, that's it? What? Like, but guys, we know this, right? The basics is what works. It's the same thing we teach our clients. Got to hit the high protein diet. You got to walk your 10,000 steps. You got to do your lifts 3 to 4 times a week. And when you do this, the snowball effect will happen to you and you'll get leaner and more healthy and fit. But we don't tend to take our same advice with business. When business really is the excellence of doing the basics over and over again for extended periods of time because it wears you down, right? You get tired of it. You got to keep going. So that's why these little 8 week sprints for me are helpful because I'm not saying do this for 1 year. I'm saying, can you give me 8 weeks? And what tends to happen is you get addicted to it and you keep doing it after, right? Because you start seeing what happens when you stick to these activities. So, what did we do at the end of the 8 weeks? We did a review, reset, and repeat. Okay, 3 R's. So, review. What results did we see? After 8 weeks, what happened? What was our EFT growth? How many people did we gain? How many people did we lose? What was our net growth? And I'm happy to say 75% of the group succeeded in hitting the mark of 5K of MRR. And people ask, well, what did the 25% do? The only simple answer is they fell off the consistency of this. They only did it 3 days a week, or they did it the first 3 weeks when they were excited about the new thing, and then they stopped for the remaining 5 weeks. Like that's all it was. The people who saw it stuck to this for 8 weeks. The people who didn't see it did not do it, or they did it, inconsistently. Then we reset. Okay, now this is a good time to look through numbers and data. What worked and what didn't work. And a lot of that was around marketing because now we've done so many marketing activities. Now is a good time. You got 8 weeks of data. Well, which ones actually generated leads and which ones did you just do, but it just ended up being a waste of time? You didn't really get any actual leads from it. Cool, let's stop doing that. Let's do more of the marketing that did work. And that's just a very simple feedback loop, but a lot of people will just look at it at 1 day of data or 1 week. But I would just say don't really stop and look at data until 8 weeks. For now, just take messy action. Just go, 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 right? And then let's let the numbers talk to us after we have plenty of data to go. All right. And then the third R is repeat. So now we want to minimize how much downtime we have. Like, I told some of the accelerators, hey, this is actually ending, at a time when a lot of people take vacation. Go take a 1 week vacation, but get back to your proven process as quickly as possible, or hand it off to someone like a manager, but like just minimize how much downtime you have when this 8 weeks is over. Because just like a gym client, they buy your trial program, they get excited, and then they drop off, right? New things tend to energize us, and then the mundane tends to wear us down. That's common for business owners. So you either got to ask yourself and be honest, can I keep going with this, or do I need to make this a process and hand it off to someone? That's for you to decide. But that's the review, reset, repeat. That was what we do at the end of the 8 weeks. All right. So I want to show you guys this is a real program that got real results, right? These are real gym owners, and these are screenshots from our group chat. So this owner added 5,600 in EFT, lost 1,200, net gain 44. Not bad after 8 weeks. I think everyone will be happy with that. And I always point this out. That was just 8 weeks. Well, I mean, how many cycles is that? Was it that's six different cycles that you can do in a year? So imagine if you added $5,000 6 times. That's where I got my 20, 25, $30,000 net gain in a year. Is if you can find a system and you can rinse and repeat it many times throughout a year, you actually could add 20,000 EFT MRR in a year, right? So that was one owner's success. Another owner added 5,000, only lost 1,600. That's a great net gain of 3,400 MRR. This owner added almost 7,000, 6,800 MRR, but they did lose four. So they had a 2,700 net gain. Again, I think that they have a higher cost membership. So when people cancel, it's a big EFT drop. Like a, small group being $300-400. This owner added 8,800 in EFT, lost 2,300, net gain of 6,400. So guys, you can see 5K is very realistic. If one person has done it, it's proof that someone else can do it. That's what I always try to remember, right? We all know the story of Roger Bannister, first person to run 4 minute mile, never had been done in human history. Within 1 year, 12 more people ran a 4 minute mile because the belief was there. It's proof that a human can do it. That means I can do it. And so if these gym owners are just humans that just took messy action and they all added healthy amounts of EFT, well, I know you can too. So I'm going to just let Paige, who is one of the people in the accelerator, do the talking because I think it's good to hear from a gym owner what they experienced in this program.
My name is Paige Wilcox. I'm the owner of Wilcox Wellness and Fitness in Bangor, Maine. This accelerator pushed me in all the very best ways, mentally, strategically, and it gave me the spark that I didn't even know that I needed. The same revenue level for a while, but at the end of the 8-week program, I had a net EFT gain of over $6,400. That kind of momentum came from having structure, weekly check-ins, and a challenge that kept me showing up differently. What I gained was more than just EFT. It was a whole new perspective on what's actually possible in my business. When I commit, really dig in and go for it. And when I have the coach's support to help me in case I get stuck. But really, the biggest shift for me from this program wasn't just in the numbers, it's in perspective. It reminded me what's possible when I stay focused, when I stay visible, and when I commit fully. This experience really showed me that with the right focus, growth happens and it creates so much momentum overall. Thanks again, Dustin.
All right, so there you guys go. That was from Paige, one of the people in the accelerator. So here's why I think, again, this type of program works. So when we're talking about adding 5K EFT, it's you and your team doing consistent actions for an extended period of time. Here's why I think it works. Number one, daily routine. We actually do good with daily repetitive things. You probably eat pretty similar foods. You probably do a similar workout program week to week. Like, embrace that that's a good thing. Don't let your monkey brain go crazy saying, "Oh, I'm bored. It's the same thing over and over." Well, why is it okay in some areas but not okay in others, right? You probably go to bed at the same time every day. So it's like actually saying, "This is good for me. I like this. This is really helpful that I just have to wake up and rinse and repeat the same thing. It makes my business grow predictably." Preemptive strike. This is what I was saying earlier about being the fire captain. You focus first when you have the most energy at the beginning of the day on what you want to do, your priorities. You do not wake up and firefight and allow yourself to get pulled into all the muck with your messenger, with your text, with your email. You turn it all off. You focus when your stuff is done, then you can go and be the hero and be the firefighter, right? Public accountability. Let's be honest, who holds the boss accountable? You, the owner. Probably nobody, which actually means you can do whatever the hell you want, but sometimes we don't make the best choices when we have that level of freedom. So let me be that accountability partner to you, right? High ROI activities. So these are only things that are going to impact revenue. It's not busy work, admin stuff, again, ordering supplies, just BS that doesn't need move the needle. And then finally, owner development. You guys might have heard this phrase, fix the owner, you fix the business. If Elon Musk suddenly came to your town and decided to open a gym, would he be able to pack it out and 5x the amount of revenue that you have? And he wouldn't be able to tap all of his money in his bank account or post about it on social media. I would argue yes. And the only reason is because of his mindset, right? He would not give up. He's a crazy man. He'd probably sleep at the gym like he sleeps at Tesla, and he would find a way because he just has that dog in him, right? So he maybe he's even given your gym and suddenly he can grow it. Did he move it? No. Did he get new equipment? No. Did he change any of the budget on marketing? No. He just focused on the right things and had that dog-minded spirit, right? So like that's why this system works. Now, what I want to invite you guys to is we do have a fall cohort for the 8-week accountability accelerator. It is starting in 3 weeks on the week of August 4th. So it's another 8-week group, and you will work directly with me. And so there's only going to be two groups of people that are going to do this call with me. So if you are a GR client, we do your ads, or you have one of our sales reps, you actually pay nothing. We include it with the service, and it's a bonus that we just do as a value add. So hooray for you, win for being a GR client. If you are a non-GR client, there is a fee to be in this program. It's an $800 one-time fee. But when you saw those MRRs and those EFT added, do you think it's worth it, right? Would you give someone $800 to get $3,000 to $5,000 back, or even up to 6 or 8,000 like you saw? I would argue it's worth it. I mean, if you're saying 8,000 for 800, I mean, we're doing 10% is the price to get in your butt through the door. Like that's, I think, a smoking deal. So that's for you to decide if you want to do it. Just go to freecallwithdustin.com. We'll talk to the program, and then if you want to do it, we'll send you an invoice. If it's not a good fit, that's all right. We'll part ways, remain friends. But that is the cost structure. Now, what's included? You will get the group coaching calls. You will get clear action steps from one week to the next. I'm very conscious to not overload you. I know you're busy. It might be 1 to 3 things max from one week call to the next. And I just say, everybody get these done before our next call. And now you're just very clear, right? We will be building offers for 3 different groups of people. So non-members are just people in your market. People are not currently training with you. I know that's the big one we want to target. But we also learn to add EFT by selling to members and reactivating past members. As well, all wins, right? They're all victories, but we're just attacking all buckets, right? You will get access to all the tools and templates that I offer, and then peer accountability, because you're gonna have other gym owners. We put everyone in a group chat, and that is something that's helpful too, to be able to talk to other gym owners and ask questions and get input. But here's the hard truth. You don't need to gather more information. I know I got all these books behind me. You're like, well, you're the king over there, collecting books. But I've just found through the years, you don't need to listen to more podcasts. You don't need to read more books. You don't need to go to more conferences, because if you're just information gathering, but you don't change your behavior from that information, it didn't land, right? What we need is more action. And that's why I'm a big fan of doing it this way. It's like holding people accountable to actions actually drives results. Gathering information just increases knowledge, right? But like we don't want to be a very, very super smart gym owner that's broke. We want to get out there and take action. So the truth is, I don't think you actually need to go out and gather more information. If you've been in the game at least 3 years, you probably know what to do. You have so much resources. You've heard it already. You know what to do. Now it's just doing it and being held accountable to those activities day in and day out. That's the game changer that most gym owners need. So that's all I got for you. Again, I hope that this wasn't too simplistic, that you feel like, oh man, this was a letdown. I got on a call and he said, do marketing and sales every day. But that's what works, guys. Like, again, I know you might want to hear the advanced tactic, the ninja strategy, but this is what works. The question is, why are we not doing it, right? And we just need that focus. We need those outside eyes. We need feedback. What if you do something and it doesn't work? No problem. Talk about it, fix it, go back out. But like complete obsession on this for 8 weeks, I promise you will change your business. All right. So if you guys want to do it, go ahead and shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or like I said here, book a call with me on freecallwithdustin.com. It does start in 3 weeks, so we're going to be shutting down accelerator registration in just a couple weeks. So I don't want you to miss out. Get on board and let's help you grow your gym. All right, guys, I will let you go. Talk soon.